Pascal. You are now rocking with that dude Pascal. We be going wild, Haitian in the building, so original. Got the haters catching feelings. Get your hands up to the ceiling and keep them held high. Cause St. Louis isn't ready. Forget about it, goodbye. Hold on, we just saying hi. Five somebody, rise up. Weekdays, catch us live. Somebody, let's go.
Good afternoon. Good evening and good morning, everybody. Welcome to the Pascal Show. Hope you guys are all doing well out there. Hope this show finds you in good spirits, because another day above the dirt is always a blessing. Let's just be real. We got something very interesting going on today. Did not expect this to happen this weekend at all, and it seems like there just continues to be there's like this new fad, like or a new approach with all these monsters out here. Okay. And I'm going to tell you, I'm vexed. There's a part of me that doesn't like this at all. And then there's another part of me that does like this. I'll explain here in just a minute. Just let me cook. But still, something's going on in the next 22 minutes from now that I did not expect on my bingo card today. And that is that it looks like pig vomit. Stephan Sterns is going to be pleading guilty today on all charges, allegedly. We're going to see what happens. We're here to see it. We're here to talk about it. We're here to cover it. Told you guys we would be covering it this week. They're supposed to be going in the jury selection, I think, if I'm correct, tomorrow. But instead, it looks like we're going into this with a plea deal hearing. So this is very interesting. So please do me a favor before we get into everything, okay? Hit that like button down below. Hit that reaction button if you're watching on other platforms. That'd be greatly appreciated. If you are watching on those other platforms like Facebook, X/Twitter, Instagram, TikTok, Rumble, Twitch, Kick, okay? Please make sure you're hitting that follow button or that like button, however those platforms ask you to do it, okay? But of course, more importantly, make sure you subscribe here on my main channel on YouTube. Come here, subscribe here, okay? Go to my second channel, The Pascal Show Clips. Subscribe over there. Go check out Pascal Raw, okay? There will be an episode out a little bit later on today, all right? Couldn't do it this weekend. Was a little busy this weekend. But please go over, subscribe to all three channels. Make sure you have notification bells set to all of them or on all of them so you know whenever I go live, whenever I upload, because a lot of it is very random nowadays, okay? Hit that like button down below. Hit that join button down below. Become a member. Check out my Patreon. Check out my locals. And, of course, check out PascalMerch.com. Okay? PascalMerch.com. All right, guys. Well, I missed you guys this weekend. It was a little busy on my end, a little crazy. There was a lot of things going on, and I was nowhere near a computer. It just is what it is. So when I heard about the news today about this, not today, but when I heard the news over the weekend, I was a little bit shocked, because I'm sitting here going, are we in the same situation that we were in with Kohberger? Yeah. Like I said, I think that there's this new fad going on, this new thing, this new approach in life. Suddenly these monsters like pig vomit right here, Stephan Sterns, okay? They're suddenly just, I don't know, throwing in the towel, throwing up the white flag, saying that they surrender. It's a very weird situation. And like what happened with the Coco, with Brian Kohberger, there was quite a visceral reaction, not only just from the victims' families, but also from the court of public opinion. A lot of people were very upset about the situation, okay? And yes, I felt some type of way about it too. But then in my mind, I go, well, wait a second. It still means justice is being served. Yes, I know it's not the justice that some people want. Some people just want to see old Sparky. Some people want to see them being gone. You know what I mean? Seeing them take that final walk, right? That dead man walking situation, right? I get it. I totally understand it. But then there's the other part of me. Like I said, this is for lack of a better term or for lack of a better word, this feels bittersweet. I know that sounds weird, Bittersweet's probably not the best word. But what I mean is like we getting the justice, but we ain't getting the full. You know what I'm saying? It's kind of like, okay. You know what I mean? It's a little bit like that. You know? It's a pizza, but it's not really a good pizza, but it's still a pizza. So you're like, all right, I'll eat the pizza, but it's not. It's kind of overcooked, or it's a few days old. You know, it just ain't. Yeah, it technically is pizza, but it's not really a pizza. You know what I mean? It's just not good enough. Whereas this is like, yeah, this is justice, but is this the justice that we wanted? Is this the justice that we truly, truly, truly wanted? And I'm going to tell you right now, I don't think a lot of us wanted this kind of justice. I think we wanted a different kind of justice. Like I said, seeing him take a long walk on a very short pier, right? Seeing him take that have his final meal, etc., right? Stuff like that. But unfortunately, that's not going to happen here. At least from what we're gathering right now, okay? Clearly, there is a plea hearing going on for this piece of trash right here, just so you know, okay? If you're a little confused about who this guy is, his name is Stephan Sterns. I call this mother lover pig vomit. Let me just repeat that again. His name has forever been donned pig vomit. I don't really refer to him as Stephan Sterns. Sure, I have to every once in a while, but he is trash, okay? He's a piece of trash. He took the life of a young girl by the name of Madeline Soto. And what's even more crazy about this, all right, is that it wasn't only just what he did taking her life. It's also the years upon years upon years of disgusting stuff he was doing with this just turned 13 years old when her life was taken. Just so you know. Then her mama, her biological mama, okay, Jenny, it's actually Jennifer Soto, okay, her mom, still claims, from what we understand, that she was completely oblivious to the disgusting, tumultuous, deplorable things that were happening between Madeline Soto and this piece of trash named, well, his name's Pig Vomit, okay? We're going to be doing a little bit of a breakdown so you guys, like a quick little refresher, summary, etc. And then, of course, there's the plea hearing. So we're going to hear from Pig Vomit's freaking mouth. You know how badly I want to curse right now? Woo! I want to curse so bad, but this ain't Pascal Raw, okay? But I want to curse so bad because this human garbage, okay? This human garbage. This is one, like Coco as well, like Koberger. I really wanted to see him squirm. I just really wanted to see him squirm for like 2 seconds. So for me, it's like, dang, we're not going to find out anything, really. Yes, of course, there'll be the files and evidence will eventually get out, and we'll find out more information, hopefully very, very soon, given the fact that he is going to, allegedly, most likely he is going to be pleading guilty today, hence the reason why there is a plea hearing today, all right? But we wanted to hear everything. There's been an ongoing debate on whether or not Madeline Soto was with child or not, okay? That's one thing that people have been debating and fighting about for the longest time, and I think that was going to be something that was going to be exposed during this trial, because we still do not know why he took the life of that young girl. We still don't. In fact, let me make sure. I need to pull up a photo of her too, because I'm tired of seeing this guy's freaking. All right, just grant me a little bit of time, because I have it. I just didn't have it up, and we should see. Well, first off, this is her. This is Madeline Soto right here. Okay, beautiful young girl. She's the one who lost her life. Okay. But of course, I just want to pull this up so you guys can see this too. But then here are the two with Madeline. Okay. You have Stephan Sterns, Pig Vomit, and then Jennifer Soto. Now, here's the thing. Of course, we're going to do a quick summary breakdown of all this, but I'm just going to say this stuff because I'm just feeling some type of way. And whenever it comes to littles, it just gets me very angry. And I just want to, like, you know what I mean? I want to punch through the camera towards them, not you guys. I love you guys. Okay. But still, like, towards him, I just want to, you know what I mean? So anyway, the thing that really aggravates me is not in the way, I mean, yes, the way that he took her life, obviously, but it's also the information that we found out later about his relationship with not his girlfriend, Jennifer Soto, but actually his relationship with Madeline Soto, 13-year-old Madeline Soto. She had just turned 13, just so you guys know. We still do not know the origin or the motive behind why he did what he did. And that's one thing that I think that we all wanted to know too. Why did he do what he did to this girl? What happened? Were advances rejected and that got him in his fee-fees and then he did what he did to her? Was it that she said something like, I don't know, with child, maybe? And he got his fee-fees and did something unthinkable to this young girl. That is one thing that I think we've all been wanting to know. What is up with that and why did that happen? Why would you go and take her life? Then put her in a car, try to make it look like she's asleep in the car when she's actually deceased. Her soul has left the body. And then try to cover it up. And shout out to his hoopty of a car, because without his car getting a flat, he might have been more successful. He might have been able to get away with this a few more days longer than what he did. Solely because he pulled out he got the car, he drove out with Madeline in the car. Car's tire blows out. He gets a flat on the side of the road. He starts freaking out. So right in the same area where his car, got a flat, he takes her body, drags it out by a tree, puts some leaves on top of her body, fixes his car, puts the wheel back on his car and drives her off, leaving her there. And she was there for a few days. It took a minute for the police to find her, but they found her. He could have been a lot more successful if that tire did not blow out at the time that tire blew out. I haven't even gotten to the part that really is even more disgusting. Okay. Oh, yeah. The interviews with the police, the fact that he was out there trying to help out. Okay. Like trying to help out police. Okay. Like just really, really bad stuff. And even so, I'm going to say it still till I am blue in the face. Okay. Till I am no longer breathing unless there's some proof out here that tells me otherwise. Okay. And it has to be like CNN, Intercontinental Hotel, Diddy footage that exonerates this woman. I will always side eye mother loving Jenny Soto. I said it. Don't care. I have yet to see anything right now that makes me feel that she was just completely oblivious. And you really are that oblivious? Holy cow. You got to be out your rabbit ass mind. Because that man was doing that stuff in plain sight. Okay? I haven't even gotten into the most deplorable and most disgusting part of it all, aside from the stuff that he was doing to her. Let's not forget that he had terabytes. Yes, I repeat, terabytes of content that no person should ever have of a little person. Hail to the no. And guess what? He had a treasure trove of that stuff. Hard drives, phones filled with this stuff. For his own enjoyment? For real? Really? It was only for his own enjoyment? Like, come on. Quit lying to me and telling me that it's only for his own enjoyment. I feel like it's something else. But of course, I've been wrong a million times before. But it's pretty wild to me that all that stuff would just be for his own enjoyment. Here's a couple other things, just a few reminders. And I mean, obviously, I'm just shooting from the hip. Okay. Like I didn't write this down to be like, here's the timeline of everything. Haven't done that. We're going to read a little bit of a summary here in a few minutes here. Okay. Just for a reminder of the whole case. Okay. Leading up to where we are today. All right. But not only did he have countless gigabytes of content that he should not have had ever. Okay. And the fact that he was dating and allegedly stooping, okay, giving this woman a good seeing to every now and again to keep her at bay. Okay. When Madeline went missing and they didn't know where she was, he said that he accidentally, let me repeat that again. He accidentally factory reset his phone. No, it's not a joke. Definitely not a joke. He literally said that. Oh my gosh, I'm so sorry. I forgot. I accidentally reset my phone. Yeah, I forgot to say that. That's a nope. You're right. I accidentally hit the factory reset button on my phone twice. Not once, but 2 times, man. And you know how much you have to, like, how many things you have to go through before you can actually fully factory reset. It's not that simple. Okay. Yes, Allie. Exactly. She's like, no, you can't accidentally reset your phone. Oh my God. Oh my God, you can't. No. Yeah, you can't. Allie's right. You really can't. Okay. You really, really can't. It goes, are you sure you want to factory reset? And you go, yes. By hitting this next button, you're saying, yes, I'm going to factor. You're allowing the factory resetting. Are you sure about that? Yes, I am. Okay, one last time. It's about to be hit the factory reset, so it means all your stuff is going to be deleted. Are you sure you want a factory reset? Yes, I do. You know what factory reset means, right? I mean, that's literally what the phone is doing over and over and over again before it finally says, okay, about to factory reset, doing it right now. You sure? You know what I mean? You're doing it over and over and over again. So how does this guy accidentally do that, right? And obviously that's a red flag for the police. So they do a deep dive into his phone, and guess what they find? Well, it's some people, I guess a lot of it's CSAM. Okay? CSAM content. Clearly content. No, it's not like he had like Coco Melon on his phone, his favorite movies of the like old school Ninja Turtle movies or you know, episodes of old school X-Men or something like that on his phone. No. Not all the Harry Potter books on one phone. No. Content that no living human being should ever have. Disgusting content that should put you away in prison for the rest of your natural freaking life, if you even had one. Even if you had one photo. That kind of stuff. But imagine that being terabytes, though. He has so much content of him and this young girl, Madeline, that he has hard drives at a U-Haul spot, like a storage joint, where he has terabytes of content in there too. Like I said, this man words can't even describe in my head what I really want to say. You know? Like I'm really trying to. All right. Yeah, this is not a human. This is why I call him pig vomit. So only a few people I've ever called pig. Actually, he's the first one. He's my first pig vomit. Okay. He will always be the first pig vomit. Hopefully he's the last, but still there's a lot of disgusting people out here in the world. Okay. But the things I really want to say, I can't. This whole show would not stay up. Let me just say that. Here's the other thing, though, too. This is the reason why I'm kind of angry. See, these are the moments where I understand, like the likes of the Gonsalves family, other family members and victims, families of the victims of the Idaho 4. Some, when Brian Koberger said, I'm going to take a plea deal, okay, everything's going to be all right. I'm taking the plea deal, right? Yes, I did what I did. He did what we all knew he did. And I'm sorry, but I'm just telling you right now, to all the people that were sitting there thinking that he did no wrong and all that, I'm just saying, y'all, he did that. And I'm sorry for the people who are still trying to move the goalpost, making it seem like he's not innocent when he most definitely is mother loving, not innocent. Okay. This is the same situation where I can understand why the Idaho 4 families are angry as hell. I get it now. I totally understand it. Okay. I totally understand it. Because why? This is somebody who should be seeing full justice, in my personal opinion. Okay. I said it. I don't care. This is somebody that should be seeing full justice. And what sucks is that if the plea deal is what it is, there's only like the judge, if the plea, it's a plea deal. So it's not like they're going to sit there and the judge is going to sit there and go, oh, you plead guilty? Well, then, well, sorry, you're still getting the DP. Nope, that's not the situation here. He gets a plea deal. He's going to live his natural life, the rest of his natural life behind bars. And that is it. That is it, y'all. Doesn't matter if we like it or not. That's what he gets. That is literally the bullet he dodged. Lucky him. But I tell you what, I hope they make that prison a hard time for his mother-loving ass. I said it, and I don't care. Okay? Just keeping it a bean, y'all. Because people like this guy should not be getting the easy way out. Okay? They should not. They shouldn't. Okay? But unfortunately, we live in this situation, which is what it is. Now, I know the news, you guys are like going crazy right now with this whole thing. Hold on, let me just see. Wow, I didn't know that. Well, that's crazy. Well, we got some breaking news here real quick. Breaking news, y'all. Of course, we're going to get straight into this here too, because it's going to be starting here soon. So just give me a second. But this is crazy news. Let's take a look at this. Malcolm Jamal Warner, Theo from Cosby, dead at 54 years old, y'all. What in the hell? Let's take a look at this. What is going on here? Wow, he's a good guy too. Good guy. Oh, this is terrible. So the Cosby show alum, Malcolm Jamal Warner, has passed away at the age of 54, TMZ has learned. So, well, they're saying TMZ has an unconfirmed, though reliable source who says Warner has passed as a result of an accidental drowning. What? No, you got to be kidding me. Is this for real? This can't be real. As you know, Michael Jamal Warner straight up owned the '80s. He did. Okay, Theodore Huxtable on the Cosby Show, snagging an Emmy nod and locking in his spot in TV royalty. He kept the hustle going from the sitcom fave Malcolm and Eddie. Voiced one of the coolest cartoons. Yeah, the Magic School Bus, and even flexed his music chops with a Grammy win in 2015. Recently, he was hosting the podcast Not All Hood, and his latest episode dropped just 3 days ago. Malcolm Jamal leaves his wife behind, or leaves behind his wife and daughter. He chose not to publicly share their names. The source, I'm assuming, okay, always keeping his family life private. He was 54 years old. He was only 54 years old, y'all. He was only 54 years old. I'm gonna have to look into this a little bit more. But what the hell? May he rest in peace. I mean, that is, he was part of a massive. I mean, that was the Cosby Show was so part of like the '90s zeitgeist. I mean, you could not go through life in the '90s, in the early '80s and '90s and not know about the Cosby Show. Real talk. But they're saying allegedly an accidental drowning. Man. And understand that can mean so many different things, y'all. That can mean so many different things. You understand that, right? That can mean so many different things. Was he really in a pool? He could have just been in a shallow body of water. It could be anything, right? So it's weird. That's why I'm like, accidental? Where and how? And we need more information. We need more. We need more information. Something ain't right. Something doesn't feel right, guys. I said it. Something doesn't feel right. Okay. But real quick, let me just get this court feed going. May he rest in peace. That is just absolutely terrible, terrible information. That's just terrible. Okay, it looks like they're getting started. So hold on. Trash. Mother loving trash. Okay. Piece of trash. Okay. Well, looks like it's going down. They got started a few minutes ago. Well, the sound is going to be good. We'll see what happens.
State of Florida filed a notice of intent to seek the penalty of death. That was on June 7th, 2024. The state formally going to be withdrawing that notice of intent to seek the penalty of death.
After the acceptance of the plea announcement.
Thank you.
Shout out to Court TV.
Should that announcement be made by the state of Florida, the proposed sentence will be the maximum sentence allowed by law. I'm going to place you under oath.
Please raise your right hand. Do you solemnly swear or
Hmm.
affirm the testimony you are about to enter into this case to be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you God?
I do.
Trash. Pig vomit.
I have two plea forms in my hand. One document looks like this. Second document looks like this. They're each plea forms for your respective cases. They each have a signature. That signature is the same on both plea documents. That signature is next to my finger. Can you tell me if that is your signature?
It's hard to tell from here.
Will you provide these forms?
Yes, Your Honor.
I'm going to pause it really quick, just so you know. The audio is coming out on the my right ear, but let me see if I can find a better feed. It could very well be the same feed like that, guys. Just so y'all know. So let me see what's going on over here. Oh no, Court TV's is much better. We're going back to Court TV. All right. Yeah, that one was terrible. So, and I got it turned all the way up, guys. All the way up. Let me make sure on the thing here too. Yep, all the way up on here too. Yep. So, we'll see what happens. You better admit to everything, mother piece of trash.
State of Florida filed a notice of intent to seek the penalty of death. That was on June 7th, 2024. The state formally going to be withdrawing that notice of intent to seek the penalty of death.
After the acceptance of the plea announcement.
Thank you.
Yep. So he's dodging it all, y'all.
Announcement be made by the state of Florida. The proposed sentence would be the maximum sentence allowed by law. Mr. Sterns, I'm going to place you under oath.
Please raise your right hand. Do you solemnly swear or affirm the testimony you are about to enter into this case to be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you God?
I do.
Keep that ass shackled up.
I have two plea forms in my hand. One document looks like this. Second document looks like this. They're each plea forms for your respective cases. They each have a signature. That signature is the same on both plea documents. That signature is next to my finger. Can you tell me if that is your signature?
It's hard to tell from here.
Will you provide these forms?
Yes, Your Honor.
I'm gonna scrub up a little bit.
You are aware of each of the
Here we go.
26 paragraphs and all of the terms and conditions of these two documents. Is that correct?
That is correct.
I have a secondary document. It is an addendum to the plea form. That document is 4 pages long. It appears to have the same initials on the bottom of each of the pages, as well as a signature at the conclusion of the case, along with your attorney, Ms. Borden and Ms. Smith. I'm going to ask the deputies to please provide this document to you, and I'm going to ask you to verify that this is your signature.
Yes, Your Honor.
Yes, it is.
What your signature on this document tells me is that you have had an opportunity to read this document, go over it with your attorneys, and you understand the 13 additional conditions of your plea agreement. Is that correct?
That is correct.
Each of the plea form goes over what your trial rights would be. In 2024 CF 1293, you were charged with the allegation of first-degree premeditated murder. In 2024 CF 632, you are charged with 60 counts.
60.
The first 9 counts being sexual battery with a child 12 to 18 years of age.
Good God.
10 through
60.
13 being sexual battery with a child 12 to 18 years of age. Counts 14 through 20 being lewd or lascivious molestation, counts 21 through 60 being unlawful possession of materials depicting sexual performance by a child, 10 or more images.
Your Honor, counts 1 through 8 are sexual battery on a child under 12.
My apologies. Counts 1 through 8 are capital sexual battery on a child under 12.
Still disgusting. Take him all the way out. Take him out.
The plea form contemplates in 2024 CF 1293 one count of murder, first degree, capital offense. Plea form on 24 CF 632 contemplates counts 1 through 8, 9 through 13, 14 through 20. With the representation that the state of Florida is withdrawing their notice of intention to seek the penalty of death upon acceptance of this plea, the maximum potential sentence on 24 CF 1293 would be life in prison without possibility of parole. Has the maximum sentence been explained to you?
Yes, Your Honor.
And in 24 CF 632, counts 1 through 8, the maximum potential sentence would be a mandatory sentence of life in prison without possibility of parole. 9 through 13 and 14 through 20 would be first degree felony allegations with a maximum potential sentence of up to life in prison. You understand those maximum potential sentences on that case?
Yes, Your Honor.
Do you understand that you have a right to have a jury trial as to each of these allegations? And at the jury trial, the state of Florida would have to prove those allegations against you beyond and to the exclusion of every reasonable doubt. At that trial, your attorneys would be with you. They are experienced, board-certified criminal expert trial attorneys. They would be cross-examining witnesses, examining the evidence against you. You would have a right to present your own witnesses and your own evidence. If you had witnesses that did not want to come to court, you could have asked me to make them come to court with a subpoena. You could have spoke at your trial, or you could have exercised your right to remain silent and not spoken. That would have been your decision after you talked those decisions over with your attorneys, and your jury would have been instructed not to consider your decision to remain silent in any way in rendering the verdict. You would have had a right to have your trial recorded and appeal any errors that occurred in the process. Do you understand you are giving up all of your trial rights if the court accepts this plea? Because I will be imposing the sentence that you have agreed with the state of Florida to be imposed upon you, and we will not be having a trial on any of these matters.
One last
Understand this
chance.
I understand.
And Your Honor, just for record purposes, counts 9 through 13 are first degree felonies punishable by life, as the court indicated. Count 14 through 20 are actually life felonies.
But she's like, I just want to make this abundantly clear. She's like, please keep his ass locked up.
These are life felonies with a minimum mandatory of 25 years. Is life a required sentence, or would that be a punishable by life offense?
It's a life, punishable by life offense. I just wanted the record to be clear. This court indicated first degree felonies, punishable by life. I just wanted the record to be clear that 14 through 20 are life felonies with 25-year minimum mandatories.
So the plea form indicates that these are first degree felonies. These are actually either capital offenses or punishable by life offenses. Do you understand that, Mr. Sterns?
Yes, Your Honor.
60 counts, guys, of
Is anyone forcing you or
Stuff.
pressuring you into make the decision to resolve your case this way?
No, Your Honor.
Has anyone made you any other promises other than what has been presented to you as the agreed upon sentence?
No, Your Honor.
Are you under the influence of any alcohol, drugs, or mental issues that cause you not to understand the decision that you are making?
I am not.
You understand if you are not a United States citizen, that entry of this plea would subject you to deportation proceedings.
Yes.
If you ever or had been convicted of a sexually violent or a sexually motivated offense, entry of this plea would have subjected you to involuntary civil commitment at the conclusion of any incarcerative sentence. You understand that's the state of Florida law.
Yes.
Ms. Smith, do you have any competency concerns regarding Mr. Sterns' fitness to accept this plea agreement? Ms. Borden?
No, Your Honor.
A person like him should be sent to alligator Alcatraz for sure. This is somebody I'd be like, please put him in alligator Alcatraz as soon as possible. Okay, they in the same state,
Mr. Sterns,
so just do it.
based on your responses to the court, based on your indicating that you have reviewed this decision with your attorneys, based on your initialing of the plea form and your acknowledgement that you understand all the terms and conditions, rights and obligations on these plea forms, including the addendum, the court is going to make a determination that you are alert, that you have had an opportunity to discuss this with your attorneys, that you are making this decision freely and voluntarily and without coercion. The court accepts your plea. Let me see the attorneys.
Wait, hold on. Did he plead guilty to the M charge? I didn't hear him say anything about that. I've just been hearing, like the content and him, doing the disgusting stuff. Did he say yes? He pled guilty to M, right? Okay. Because I'm like, I missed that. And Jen A, is Jen A in there? I don't see her. Or is that her? Where's she at? Come on, scan the room. Somebody said in the chat that she was in the room. I don't see her. Where's she at? And I am also curious if how she feels about this. You know what I mean? Because I feel like she disappeared. She was nowhere to be seen, after everything. She disappeared. Some people say that she went to a hospital of some sort for mental health stuff, etc. But at the same time, I don't see why she would. The only reason I feel like I would want to make it abundantly clear if it was if they're like, are you here to see him? Are you here to support his ass? I'd be like, no, I'm here to support my daughter, and I'm here to see him get locked up for good, right? You know what I mean? I'm not here to support him. I'd make that so clear. I'd stop to any YouTuber or any reporter I could find on the street and go, listen, I want to make this abundantly clear. I'm here for my kid. I'm not here for him. I want to see him get locked up for good. Make he rot in prison, right? Like I said, I'm happy that he's going to be locked up for good unless this judge throws a curveball, which I highly doubt, okay? He's got 60 counts, guys. Repeat that again. 60 counts. Okay. Comments on other platforms say Jen A is not there. Okay. Somebody said in the chat, so I'm like, okay, if she's really there, I feel like the camera would have zoomed in on her and just been like, there she is. There's Pig Vomit's girlfriend, Jen A. But if she's not there, then she's not there. How can you live with yourself? See, this is what I mean. It's and I hate to use the word because I can't think of a better word, but it's bittersweet. I hate to say it like that, but it's bittersweet. I'm really happy that he's going to get locked up for good, but there's another part of me that's dang, I really wanted to see somebody flip the switch. Do you know what I mean? Just, the neighborhood nearby the jail, suddenly the lights flicker. You know what I mean? And the kids are like, Mom, the light. Oh. You know? Just saying. You're watching the big game. Suddenly the lights and everything just flicker. Honey, the something's wrong with the Oh, yeah. Anyway, back to the game. You know what I mean? Come on now. I ain't crazy. I'm goofy, but I'm not crazy. So, that was like a little bit of a moment. Like a moment for me. Okay? That would have been nice. I'm going to mute this because this snow, it's not calming for me. But when they get back out from this, let's see. Let me skip ahead. I just realized. Okay.
Parties regarding plea of no contest as to 24 CF 1293, first degree premeditated murder of Madeline Soto.
Jeez.
Mr. Sterns, how do you plea to first degree premeditated murder in
There we go.
CF 1293?
No contest.
And as to counts 1 through 8, capital sexual battery of Madeline Soto while she was under the age of 12. Counts 9 through 13, sexual battery of Madeline Soto between the ages of 12 and 18. And counts 14 through 20, lewd or lascivious molestation. How do you plead?
Guilty.
Oh,
Prior to sentencing, does the state care to offer any victim impact testimony?
hold on. Oh,
Your Honor, the first will be a written statement from Madeline's maternal grandmother.
like, what's up with the no contest BS?
Yolanda.
This piece of.
Today I stand before you with a broken soul. I am Madeline's grandmother, but to her, I was not grandma. Madeline always called me mama. She decided that since she was little. And that's how I felt with her, like a second mother who loved her with all my heart. Madeline was a happy little girl. She loved going shopping with me. That excited her so much that it felt like everything around us turned into color. I remember her face lighting up when we went to the stores. Holding hands, laughing together in those moments, we connected, and I felt like she knew she was loved, protected, and valued. At night, we loved to play. It was in those moments, just before bed, that she laughed the most. Sometimes it's hard for me to close my eyes because I still hear her laughter. It was free, sweet, and sincere laugh, a sound I will never forget as long as I live. But that laughter was silenced by a horrific act. The very man who betrayed her trust, her innocence, her body. And if that wasn't enough damage, he took her life. And with her, he killed a piece of our souls. Since then, life has never been the same. Our family is empty and broken. There are days when the pain is so great that I feel like I'm drowning. And every time I think of everything she could have been, everything that was stolen from her, it hurts even more. Because Maddie wasn't just a victim. She was a little girl with a beautiful future, with a unique light, with so much love to give and receive. Today I am here because Maddie can no longer speak, but I can as her grandmother. As someone who loved her with all that I am, I come to ask for justice for her memory, for everything she lived through and should never have lived through. Justice so that no one else has to go through such a horror. I will never forget Maddie, her voice, her laughter, her eyes, her dreams. All of that lives in me, and so it will live forever. My beautiful girl, one day we will be reunited and we will never be separated again. I love you with all my heart. Thank you for listening to me with deep pain and eternal love.
It's crazy. That's the only person that wrote something. Please tell me there's more people that wrote something, or maybe more people are going to step up and speak because they need. I mean,
This is a statement from
okay,
Angelica
good.
Negro Guerrero. My name is
Hamburger.
Angelica Negro Guerrero. I lived with Maddie and Jennifer in the same house for about 2.5 years. Today, I take the liberty of expressing myself not just as a roommate, but as part of the family, as Maddie told me several times.
The roomie is
How can I
speaking.
explain how this tragedy has impacted my life? There are so many emotions. I am an immigrant and I have lived in this country for 4 years. I left my country, Venezuela, alone with just a suitcase in my hand in search of a better future. Venezuela has been going through the worst moment in history, run by people blinded by power and money, people who have stolen the future of so many. I've always been against injustice, abuse, corruption, and evil in general. I couldn't picture myself living in a country where I had to witness every single day how a small, corrupt group destroyed countless families and the beauty of my nation. And that's exactly why it has been so devastating for me to experience something so tragic, so close to me after coming here with a hope for a better life. I ended up living under the same roof with a man who took a life of a 13-year-old girl, and with that shattered an entire family. What is the point of having dreams, plans, and opportunities if there is no life? If there is so much evil in the world? How can I explain what I felt and how this has affected me, especially considering that this same man took nude photos of my body without my consent, violating my privacy? I felt invaded, outraged, degraded, anguished, and absolutely shattered. I constantly think that my life was in danger too.
Whoa.
I could have died. I am also a victim. And the only reason I'm here to write this is because God is great and I know I'm under his protection. This has affected my emotional, physical, and financial stability. I haven't been able to live with strangers ever again. Right now, I rent an apartment by myself. I pay it with all my effort just to feel safe and at peace. If I already had trouble trusting people before, now it's even harder. I can't imagine even handling a neighbor too close because it gives me anxiety. I tried to get psychological help to move forward, but this is something that will forever remain in my memory and continue to affect me deeply. To this day, I wish I could wake up and realize none of this ever happened, that this was just a nightmare. I wish I could still be spending time with Maddie, making her arepas with cheese and butter like she loved, and practicing our languages together. Me learning English and her learning Spanish. I'll never forget the words she always told Jennifer. Mommy, I would love to learn Spanish so I can talk a lot with Angelica. I think about all the time, and I wish it had been me who spoke English fluently back then. Maybe she would have opened up to me about the hell she was going through with that horrible man. I want justice for Madeline and for all the girls and women who have lived through something similar. I want him to pay for all the pain he caused her and the beautiful family I love with all my heart. I send all my love to the sky to Madeline so her soul may find peace. Angelica.
Nude photos of her. He was taking
This is
creep shots of
from
her.
Zemina Zambrano, a cousin to Maddie Soto. To the Honorable Court, we write this letter with broken hearts still aching from the devastating loss of our beloved Maddie Soto. The pain of losing her is something no family should ever have to endure. But the nature of her death, the cruelty, the abuse, the inhumanity has inflicted a level of trauma and sorrow that words can scarcely convey. Maddie was more than a victim. She was a daughter, a granddaughter, a cousin, a niece, and a cherished soul in our close-knit and loving family. To know her was to love her. Her spirit, her kindness, and her light remain with us, even though her life was so brutally taken. She was not only murdered, she was discarded like she was nothing, thrown into the wilderness. That image haunts our minds and wounds our hearts every day. Our grief has been compounded by the public scrutiny and the cruelty of strangers who speculate and judge without knowing the depth of our loss or the strength of our bond. We are a large family rooted in love, faith, and mutual support, and this tragedy has shaken us to our core, mentally, emotionally, and physically. Many of us suffer sleepless nights, constant anxiety, and depression. The trauma has left scars that will last a lifetime. We turn to God for comfort, and we trust that divine justice will ultimately be done. But we also place our faith in this court to uphold what is just and right. Maddie deserves that. Our family deserves that. We beg you to consider the profound impact this crime has had, not just on one individual, but on an entire family and community. Please ensure that the individual who committed this horrifying act is held fully accountable. Justice for Maddie cannot bring her back, but it can ensure that her life and her death are not dismissed or dishonored. Let there be no leniency for this cruelty. Let there be no question about the value of her life. Let justice be done. Sincerely, Jimena, please, on behalf of the Zambrano family.
Are there more, or is that it? Okay. I was about to say, somebody got to come through. Somebody got to come through. She is.
Nunez. I was Madeline's aunt.
There we go. Come on.
Letitia. Last name Nunez. Nunez. To Maddie. When I was 7 years old, a beautiful newborn baby was brought into our lives. And I remember being so excited because I was going to be an aunt. You gave me a sense of responsibility from such a young age because I wanted nothing more at that time than to help take care of you, play with you, and overall just make you a happy baby. You're truly missed every single day. I miss your laugh. I miss your smile. I miss your big, beautiful blue eyes. I miss doing the little things like picking you up from school, helping you with your homework, even though we both hated doing that. I just miss you and your presence. But that unfortunately was taken from us. I have so much hatred in my heart, specifically for the creature that's sitting in this room today. And no matter what happens or what justice could be brought, it kills me that it doesn't bring you back. I would give up my life if it meant having you here with us. Even though I was your aunt, you always felt much more like a little sister to me. Doing your hair for the father-daughter dances that my dad would take you to, letting you pick out clothes for my closet, doing your makeup and making sure it was very light because your natural beauty was worth more than any makeup product money could buy. I just miss you every single day, and it's left a hole in my heart from the day you've been gone. Your innocence was taken from you, and since clearly that wasn't enough for a certain someone, so was your life. You were the bravest little girl I've ever met, full of love, light, laughter, and as any positive thing I could think of, you were all of those things. I'm so blessed to have spent 13 years with someone so wonderful, and you're going to live on through all of us. Not because of what happened to you, because that didn't define who you were. I'm going to make sure my future kids know who you are, and make sure my grandkids know who you are, and so on. Today I sit here before everyone, and all I can say is that despite what anyone thinks they know, you were so loved by each and every one of your family members, and I know you felt you left this world knowing that. I know it would pain you to see what people have to say about your loved ones, but what I think of it all is that, and what I'd want you to think up in heaven is that it's all just noise. And I find comfort in the fact that we, your family, know you were beyond loved and beyond cared for. I'm so sorry we found out too late. But despite everything that was happening to you behind closed doors, you still remained one of the happiest human beings I've ever met. Someone who loved us deeply and made us all smile. Trying to find light in this horrible situation is very difficult, but one thing I am grateful for is that your last day on this earth was everything you wanted and more. You got the birthday you asked for. Your best friends were able to be with you. We cooked the food you specifically asked for, and overall, I have the memory of sitting outside by my pool looking at you and your friends and just thinking, I'm so glad she's having a great time. And look at how grown up she is. How she's blossoming into such an amazing young woman. I could go on forever, but I just want to leave this here by saying I love you so much, and I miss you endlessly. Everything I do from now on, any accomplishments, any decisions I make, anything that happens in my life, I'm going to do it for you and in your honor. I love you, Madeline Soto, and I hope you're resting peacefully now.
Yeah, this judge better bury him under the prison. Bury him under the doggone prison. Yeah, now family gonna talk.
Can you tell the court your name and then spell your first and last name for the court reporter?
Natalie Rosero, Nathalie. Thank you, Your Honor, for for having me here today. I've known the family for over 15 years. I am best friends with Maddie's aunt and was roommates with Maddie and her mom during the time her life was ended. All of our kids are the same age, so we always try to keep them united and spend as many holidays together.
Oh,
I have years worth of beautiful pictures.
she was the
birthdays,
roommate.
Christmas and Easters we all spent together. Those are the moments I try to hold on to as I stand here today. I'm here to express what the past year and a half has been like in my experience. From the moment we found out that Maddie went missing, life has never been the same. Those first 48 hours we set out to look for her, we spread flowers, went knocking on door to door, going to every business down John Young Parkway from Kissimmee to Sand Lake, asking for the public's help. All while seeing my best friend and her family have emotional breakdowns, feeling completely helpless and terrified for Maddie, thinking how could anyone just take her? It turns out we spent almost 3 days looking in the wrong location because Stephan lied to us about where he last saw her.
All right, talk.
Your Honor, that's the first time in my life I've ever felt true hate for anyone. The following days were filled with more sadness and distraught. We went from searching for a missing person to looking for a body. I had been searching for her as if my son was missing, so it was very difficult to accept that. We spent the rest of the week canvassing St. Cloud until they eventually found her body. Although there was a moment of relief that at least her body was found, that was the last sense of relief I've felt since that day. I was confident I had the power of discernment, but I couldn't even see the evil living in the same house. As details of the sexual abuse and her death came to light, you start to question everything. I even questioned my own faith. Having a full night's sleep became a luxury I could not afford. I was too anxious to sleep, constantly wanting to wake up from a nightmare. It wasn't until I started wishing death on him that I realized I needed help. I started going to therapy to try to deal with the grief and anger of losing Maddie the way we did. I also had to navigate my son's emotions as he finds out the cruelty that exists in this world. Holidays are not the same. The void is loud. It's hard to trust people. I am very guarded. I am hoping that when everything here is said and done, there can be some type of closure, even though Maddie's life can never be replaced. That is the only reason I am here today. As decisions are made, please keep in mind that she wasn't even my child, and I feel this way. I cannot imagine the pain, trauma, and deception that Maddie's family has experienced. I do not wish this pain and suffering on any other child or family. Thank you, Your Honor.
Stephanie online would like to address the board.
Wait, I'm sorry.
We're joined by an online presence. Stephanie, you may unmute your microphone and let the court know how this has affected your family.
Interesting.
Can you tell the court your first and last name and spell them, please?
See that her microphone is.
Can you hear me, Judge?
Yes, I can hear you now.
Okay, hi. I'm sorry. To the court. Maddie brought a light into. Sorry. Maddie brought a light into my life that I would never be able to describe. With her outgoing personality and her infectious smile, her infectious laugh. She was so kind-hearted, adventurous, and loving. Now that she's gone, everything's changed. The silence where her laughter is deafening. The hole in my heart is bottomless, and the pain is indescribable.
It's Maddie's friend.
My family's life has been shattered. What we've endured and what we will continue to endure for the rest of our lives is a kind of pain that I do not wish on anyone. No family should have to lose a loved one in this horrible manner, especially at such young. Her life was taken. Her future. I should say, never see her fall in love, get married, or build a future that she deserves. With her. This while in her
Appears the connection is no longer established.
You return it. I can finish reading it, Jen.
Rejoin.
I'm so sorry. I'm not in a good place with connection. I apologize.
You may continue. We can
This
hear you.
This vile and heartless crime has not only affected and traumatized my family, but so many other families as well. It has also impacted her friends, all of those who knew her, as well as the whole community. There are nights where I can't sleep, nights where I wake up gasping for air, haunted by what Maddie must have gone through. I am consumed by grief. I carry such an anger that it eats away at me on a daily basis. A depression I never thought was possible. The emptiness touches every moment of every day. And everywhere I look, I see her. I hear her laugh in my memories, and then I remember she's gone, and it destroys me all over again. To know what Maddie went through and how terrified she must have been is unbearable. The thought of her suffering haunts me. The cruelty of what was done to her will never stop echoing in my mind. I asked the court for something that I know I could never really have, justice. Because real justice would mean that Maddie would be here with us and not you. You still get to wake up every day, something you cruelly stole from her and from us. The way you discarded Maddie as if she was nothing and her life had no value is a true reflection of your evil. The suffering you caused her should be given back to you tenfold. You do not deserve peace. You do not deserve mercy. You deserve to carry the weight of her pain every single day, just how we will carry it for the rest of our lives. And let me be perfectly clear. Where you go after this life will not be where Maddie is. She is in a place of peace surrounded by love. You, on the other hand, will never know peace. You will never see her again. You're not going where she is going. You're going to hell. Thank you, court.
Bars.
Stephanie, can you tell the court your first and last name, please?
Stephanie Soto.
Thank you.
Oh, Stephanie Soto. Freaking bars, though. Bars. F this guy. You know what?
Stephanie Soto. Did you get it? I'm sorry.
Ms. Soto, we can hear you. Thank you for your statement.
You know what? In a way, let him be locked up and let him constantly be worried about dropping the soap. You know what I mean? Like, let him be, like I said, he gonna be wearing.
Your first and last name and spelling.
Kimberly Vialta.
He gonna be wearing.
Your Honor, I stand here today to
I'm
give
gonna
you
stop.
a little insight of how loved and how losing Maddie has destroyed my family. Although Maddie was not my blood, I considered her my family. And I loved her like my own niece. Maddie was a kind and bubbly child and was growing up to be the most amazing young lady. She loved arts and crafts, Taylor Swift, and sour gummy candy. I had the honor and privilege of spending many holidays and special occasions with Maddie over the years, and I will cherish those memories forever. I do not have joy or happiness left in me because this monster took that away from us when he killed Maddie. Every day I feel like life is not worth living anymore because such heinous evil exists in this world. There is not a day that goes by where I do not think about all the pain and suffering that Maddie endured. This monster took advantage of her trust and her innocence. This parasite robbed us of every moment we could have had with Maddie. And our lives will never be the same. A life sentence is not punishment enough for what he did to Maddie. However, it gives me comfort to know that he will spend the rest of his miserable life in prison. I hope he lives a long and healthy life so he suffers every single day. Therefore, I ask the court to not take any mercy on this poor excuse of a human when imposing his sentence because he does not deserve it. Thank you, Your Honor.
That part. That part. Kool-Aid lipstick holding on to the inside pocket of a man named Toby. And there's going to be a whole lot of dudes trying to enter his exit hole. Get ready for it, too.
My name is Tyler Wallace.
Tatiana Wallace.
Tyler, what's your relationship to Madeline Soto?
Madeline Soto was my daughter.
Go ahead.
Oh, that's the
Madeline
dad.
Soto was my daughter. She was happiness. She was a joy to be around. She was quirky and intelligent. She was curious. A little forgetful like me too. That happens sometimes, but I just loved her so much. And I was not able to be in her life as much as I would like to, due to circumstances and choices I had made, due to the way finances worked. I was strained in my relationship with my daughter, and that was finally getting better. The last time I saw her was in October of 2023, and she had come to visit for a few days. And when I took her back to the airport, I said, you know, you're turning 13 soon. When you turn 13, you have a choice of which guardian you're interested in staying with. Would you like to stay with me and talk to you? And she said yes, that she would. And so I was this close to having my little girl, sir. Because of the actions of this depraved man, I will never meet the woman she was becoming. And I can't grasp it. I can't grasp the selfishness of you, the deplorability of your actions. You're depraved. You're weak. You're a coward. You're a sneak thief. You crept into a family and took advantage and exploited them when they were weak. It's torn my family apart. It's led to arguments about who can go where and who can get what and who can help who, but we're all on edge because it doesn't heal with time. This isn't like other deaths that I've experienced. This just gets worse. It just gets worse every time I rethink about it and the true horror of what this man visited upon her. And I can only hope that he lives a long time in prison and has those same horrors revisited upon him by his fellow inmates. Thank you.
It has no further witnesses.
Oh, this is hard.
Defense, any input prior to sentencing?
I don't think Jen should even say anything. I know somebody said no statements from Jen, but I'm like, should she even say anything? I mean, let's be real. Should she even say anything?
Can you please tell the court your name?
Okay, my name is Leslie Vajalta.
Oh, I thought they were done.
How are you related to?
I'm a close friend of Maddie's family. Most people only know Maddie as the victim of a heinous crime. But I'd like to talk about Maddie today, and I'd like to share some things that I really loved about her. I loved how fearless Maddie was. She was an amazing swimmer. She was a fast learner. The moment she set her mind to something, she did it. That's how she was about everything. She dove into everything head first, and she was so resilient. She had the most beautiful smile. It lit up our entire life. Every Christmas, every Thanksgiving, I was so excited to see her, to talk to her about her life. She was so curious. She was so smart. She could sing. She loved to perform for us. Maddie enjoyed watching Brooklyn Nine-Nine and Bob's Burgers. She even dressed up as Louise one year for Halloween. And I loved her witty, outspoken personality. She's so funny. And that's how I want everyone to leave here thinking about her, remembering her. She lost a lot of privacy towards the end of her life. And I want her to be remembered by her amazing qualities, not the abuse she endured and the exploitation she endured by her abuser. There's not 1 second of my life that I don't think about Maddie. I'll forever celebrate her in my heart and out loud. Maddie was too good for the world, and she did not deserve any of this. Ever since she's been gone, our family, our joy, everything is destroyed. No one smiles anymore. No one laughs. Most days I can't even leave my house. I feel like I can't breathe. And I'm not even her blood relative. I was just so lucky to be a part of her life. He took Maddie away from us. He took away her whole childhood. He took away all her potential that we saw in her, and he took everything from us. And now it's time for him to reap what he sows. This disgusting parasite stole Maddie's youth, her innocence, her life, her joy. He has stolen our sense of safety. I can't sleep. Every time I close my eyes, I see his disgusting face. I can imagine what he did to her. I know every detail. I've read everything. I will never bring children into this world because of people like him, depraved, disgusting maggots just like him. He's not the only one. May God forgive him because I definitely do not. I please ask the court to prosecute him to the fullest extent. Show no mercy, exactly how he did Maddie. Justice for Maddie. Thank you.
Nothing further.
That's any input prior to
Yes, Your Honor, we would like to thank the State Attorney's Office for sparing Mr. Sterns' life. And we do sincerely hope that this will bring closure and help to start the healing process for Ms. Soto's.
You gonna talk? You better not talk. Throw him away for good.
The court has accepted Mr. Sterns' plea of no contest for the first-degree premeditated murder of Madeline Soto, and his plea of guilty to 8 counts of sexual battery on Madeline Soto under the age of 12, sexual battery upon Madeline Soto between the ages of 12 and 18 in a familial custodial role, and lewd or lascivious molestation, counts 14 through 20. State, you have an announcement as to the notice of intent to seek the penalty of death.
Honor, we will waive the notice of intent to seek death. We will file an electronic null pros for counts 21 through 60. And we are also asking that you inquire about waiving a PSI, just in abundance of caution.
Based on the announcement from the state of Florida, the maximum potential sentence in these cases is life in prison without the possibility of parole.
Come on, give it.
The intent to seek the penalty of death has been waived. Ms. Smith, as to 2024 CF 6320, is there a waiver of an entitlement to a pre-sentence investigation? Yes, sir. Ms. Warden, as to the remaining case 2024 CF 1293, is there a waiver of entitlement to a pre-sentence investigation?
Yes, he is not entitled to a PSI on this.
The court has had an opportunity to hear the anguish and the fury of shattered families, everyone in the gallery has had an opportunity to hear the anguish and the fury of community mourning and permanently diminished. Folks joining us around the state and the country remotely have heard the opportunity to hear the anguish and fury of a meaningful future that was stolen, and a beautiful promise of Madeline Soto's life extinguished permanently. Stephan Sterns, you have had the opportunity to hear that anguish and fury.
There we go.
Actions. As to first-degree premeditated murder of Madeline Soto, you are adjudicated guilty and sentenced to life in prison without the possibility of parole. As to the capital sexual battery of Madeline Soto while she was under the age of 12, for each count you are sentenced to life in prison without the possibility of parole.
He gone, guys. This little bitch is gone.
For the sexual battery of Madeline Soto between the ages of 12 and 18, you are adjudicated guilty and sentenced to life in prison without the possibility of parole. The lewd and lascivious molestation of Madeline Soto, sentenced to life in prison without the possibility of parole. These sentences will run concurrently, meaning at the same time. The state of Florida has withdrawn their notice of intent to seek the penalty of death. These are the maximum sentences permitted to the court. Each case will have court costs that will be reduced to a civil judgment.
That's 2024 CF 632, court costs are $11,163. As to 24 CF 1293, $666.
Court incorporates the addendum to the plea form as to each plea in 2024 CF 632 and 2024 CF 1293. Not announced. You are adjudicated guilty as counts 1 through 8, 24 CF 632. State any further sentencing considerations?
Yes, Your Honor. With regards to count 14 through count 20 in 24 CF 632, the court sentenced to life in prison, there is a 25-year minimum mandatory with that as well. The state also provided the court with a score sheet which encompasses counts 9 through 20. It includes penetration and contact points as well. A copy of that has been provided to defense as well in the court. I haven't been made aware of any corrections or additions or subtractions.
I do not have a copy of this.
Should be with the plea form, Your Honor.
It's not. I'm going to need a copy of the score sheet, please.
It sounded like four life sentences. I could have sworn it was 4. Of course, they're all going to be running concurrently.
The total sentence points pursuant to the Criminal Punishment Code score sheet are 1,278 with a lowest permissible prison sentence in months of 937.5 months. That doesn't include.
Yeah, no parole. 4 sentences, no parole. Yep.
Sexual penetration points of 80 times 5 and sex contact points of 40 times 7. Any errors, corrections, or omissions to the score sheet? Ms. Smith? Ms. Gordon? 25-year minimum mandatory sentence as to the counts requiring a minimum mandatory sentence are imposed. Mr. Stearns, you will have the right to appeal the judgment and sentences of the court. If you wish to do so, you must do so in writing within the next 30 days. If you cannot afford an attorney, one will be appointed for you. The appeal will be limited to the jurisdiction of the court to impose the sentence. Legality of the sentence itself is a condition of your agreement with the state of Florida. You are agreeing not to appeal the pretrial rulings of the court. State anything else? That's anything else? Thank you.
Wait, what?
Let's place Mr. Stearns under, he's been previously placed under oath.
Oh, good God. You want to
Yes,
talk?
Your Honor, I would like to make a brief statement.
Boo!
I agree that it's not fair that Madeline is not here anymore. I still have a hard time contemplating a world where she's not around, a world which feels less vibrant and less colorful than it did before. I've prayed to God countless times to trade places with her, to take me instead. And unfortunately, that's just not how he works. I have nothing but sorrow for her loss, and I miss her all the time. Her passing has torn me and my family apart as well, and she truly was a joy. I pray to God that she is in heaven and that he's taking good care of her. And I hope she gets to join the choir because she had a beautiful voice. I will miss her all the time. I will never not honor her memory. And I apologize for all the pain.
You get the last word?
Anything further? Conclude our plea and sentencing hearing. We'll be in recess.
It's recess time. Why does he get the last word? Man, you better sit your ass down. Give me a freaking break, y'all. No chin, having ass. Looking like a freaking beaver. Looking ass. Platypus looking ass. Okay, so they're on a recess apparently. Okay, I don't know what happens after this recess, but there's some things. There's a few things that we need to digest.
Please coming up.
Yeah. How the hell does he get to have the last word? You know what I'm saying?
Sorry for
Well,
the delay. Get started in about 5 minutes.
Not a problem, Judge. Thank you.
okay, I'm gonna mute this for now because he's just doing fingerprints and stuff. But here's the thing, okay? It angers me that he got the last word. I really don't like that. I feel like in a situation where you are admitting guilt, he admits to the disgusting things. He just said no contest to the actual unaliving of this young girl, of Madeline Soto. Okay, which of course we have now just learned that no contest is basically it's like they're saying they're guilty but not saying guilt, which is weird. So it's a plea of no contest, also known as a nolo contender. I don't know. So means hold on. Oh, they're gonna stop. I'm gonna hop around in a couple spots here too in just a second, but I'm just reading this off camera real quick. Okay, it means the defendant in a criminal case does not admit guilt, but also does not contest the charges. So there's that. Now they're hopping over to something. Oh, this just hopped over to something else. Ugh. I mean, I guess it's done. I guess it's done. I guess we saw the meat and potatoes. Hold on. I'm seeing if there's another one. Hold on, guys. Okay, I'm pausing it for a second. Okay, so what it says here, okay, it means a defendant in a criminal case does not admit guilt, but also does not contest the charges. Essentially, they're not fighting the prosecution's case, but are also not admitting to committing the crime. So they're basically saying, like, I did it, but I didn't do it. You know what I'm saying? It's weird. I'm guilty, but not guilty. It has the same legal effect as a guilty plea in terms of potential punishment, but a quote unquote no contest plea cannot be used against the defendant in a later civil lawsuit based on the same facts. So, in other words, he is trying to save his parents' money. That's what it is. If it has to do with this, and I'll just pull this up so you guys can see this too, and then we'll get into it. And of course, I know about this, but I'm going to say it again. R.I.P. to Malcolm Jamal Warner. Some really sad news we heard about today for sure. I don't know why my camera keeps doing this, but we are going to keep on rolling. Okay. So here's the thing. This is what it says here. Okay. So means the defendant in a criminal case does not admit guilt, but also does not contest the charges. Essentially, they're not fighting the prosecution's case, but they are also not admitting to committing the crime. It also has same legal effect as a guilty plea in terms of potential punishment, but a no contest plea cannot be used against the defendant in a later civil lawsuit based on the same facts. So in other words, I think that he's trying to protect his parents' money. That's what I think. That's what I truly think. I think he is trying to protect his parents' moolah. That's what I think. Because you got to remember, the parents got money. His parents. His parents are like in real estate and stuff like that. They got a little bit of money. He may be broke. Okay, he may be some broke ass, lazy ass, looking like a damn duck-billed platypus up in this piece. Okay, and that's an insult because duck-billed platypuses look better than his face. But anyway, all right. His parents have money. So I think what's happening, okay, is that he's protecting their money. He's protecting his parents' money by saying no contest. That's what I truly think. Because if he did say, oh, yeah, I did it, so on and so forth. They might be like, okay, we're going to take his parents, his family for everything they got because they're the ones who created him. They're the ones who brought him into the world. And I'm not sitting here saying that they did anything, to cause this whole thing, to make pig vomit be pig vomit, but maybe they did. We don't know. We really don't know. What's the origin story of pig vomit being into this kind of disgusting stuff? We don't know. We really don't know. So it could be that. Let's look a little bit more into this. So here's a more detailed explanation. Not an admission of guilt. Unlike a guilty plea, a no contest plea doesn't force the defendant to admit that they committed the crime. So why is he still going out here trying to say that he's innocent? Yet he's saying he's guilty of all. He says, well, he didn't even say innocent. He didn't say guilty. He says no contest. Yet he's admitting to doing all these other things. He's saying, I'm guilty as hell on all the disgusting things I did with this young girl for years, for several years. But nope, didn't do that. So then who's he protecting? Aside from potentially maybe his mom and dad, his mom and dad's wallet. He said guilty on everything else except for the M, y'all. Lil Patty, I just want you to know, he said no contest to the M charge. No contest to the unaliving of her. He said guilty on everything else. The content he made, etc. Okay? The stuff that he did to her, etc. But he did not take the guilty plea on the M charge. He said no contest, which makes no sense to me. Hold on. We got a few things we're going to look at. So let's take a look at this.
Her behavior throughout a child that has been murdered, but one that for tragedy. And she
about to be fingerprinted, remanded into custody after being sentenced to multiple life sentences in prison after pleading no contest to a murder and guilty to a number of counts related to the sexual battery of 13-year-old Maddie Soto. And I want to bring back in legal analyst Dr. Sunny Slaughter, who joins us live now via Zoom. And Dr. Slaughter, heartbreaking just to hear those so many victim impact statements from loved ones, whether they were family members, whether they were friends, just talking about the loss of Maddie Soto and how much she meant to them.
It was gut-wrenching to hear about who she was to them and the impact and the imprint that Madeline left on the lives of so many. And now so many of us take her with her, we're just taking her with us. I'm just almost without words because victim impact statements are so difficult to not only write, but difficult to read. And it's difficult to express how much someone so young meant to you, especially in light of the tragedy and loss and the type of tragedy and loss that they have felt and that they will continue to feel and that we all will feel. I'm glad this is over today. I think it would have been extremely difficult to wait. I thought maybe we would have this sentencing later, but I'm really glad it happened today. Madeline was loved beyond measure. I am, however, conflicted. And I can say this because I am a mother and I have been in this position before as a mother, specifically, not with a child that has been murdered, but one that has been violated. So I can say this. The fact that Jennifer said nothing to the courts, that she spoke nothing to the people is
It speaks volumes.
disturbing.
Yeah.
Not that she had to say her own words, but not even having them read. I think it's equally disturbing for those of us who have felt unnerved and uneased by her behavior throughout all of this.
Yeah, I thought it was striking. You bring up a good point there that we didn't hear from her. We did hear from Stephan at the end there. I'm curious what you make of his remarks to the court.
I had to mute myself because the level of rage that I felt at his words, what he said, I think they.
Why did he get the last
dirty.
word? They were.
How he felt about her, I think it was dirty.
Thank you.
What he thought about her, I think I just think it just shows the level of filth of who he is and who he was and why he is a person that must spend the rest of his life behind bars, because he almost spoke of her as if he is not the person that did this to her. Almost, I don't know. I just found it sexual. I just found it deviant. And
yeah, I feel the same way.
I'm grateful that the judge sentenced him to multiple life sentences, including the 25 years. And then, Garrett, we heard something that we did not know about. I mean, you suspected, but it's not always clear about the penetration. My Lord, with all the people that.
Okay, I'm going to stop right there. Let me just first off say, I'm so glad. First off, shout out to Sunny. Okay, she's a friend of the show, so it's nice to see a familiar face over here. I just need to say this. I could not agree with her more, because the things that he said, as soon as he said she was a joy, do you mean by she was a joy, mother lover, you dirty little rat? Like, I'm going, why are you saying these? You should not be saying anything except for, let's be real. If you want to have the last word, the only thing you need to be saying coming out your pig vomiting freaking stench little mouth should be, I am sorry. I will never be able to forgive myself for the things that I did. And may God have mercy on my soul. Right? Not, she was a joy. What are you talking about, homie? You have no place to say anything like that, homie. You saying she a joy, you sick mother. You see what I'm saying? I'm listening to that and I'm like, my stomach is turning. Because if I was the daddy in that room, oh my God, all them bailiffs would have to hold me down. What you saying about my daughter? Man, y'all, he would learn what wrath feels like. Do you understand? He shouldn't have said anything. That stuff was gross. It was gross. He shouldn't have said a damn thing. Except for, Your Honor, yes, not, guilty, whatever, no contest, fine. Those are the things you're supposed to say. You shouldn't be saying have the last word, okay? The whole Maggie, Paw, this is all for Maggie and Paw. Shut up! I don't want to hear it. I don't want to hear it, you dirty dog, you dirty mother lover. I'm sorry. I'd lunge, okay? I'd be Supermaning on that dude, okay? He wouldn't even know where it was coming, okay? And we've gone through the jail calls, okay? We went through majority of them. We didn't go through all, apparently there was a whole new batch of them. We didn't go through those, okay? But we did go through the other ones. Okay, the first batch. And the dude, yes, okay, who said that? Michelle, yeah, he's absolutely just all the way up his own butt. He all the way up his own ass, okay? He's gone. Like, he's not right in the mind, okay? And clearly, Jenna is not right in the mind either. What's crazy to me, okay? I'm sorry, I got to get this all off my chest. I'm mad, okay? Yes, he gonna be locked up for life. And some people can sit here and say that is more, that is more more of a fitting type of more of a fitting type of punishment than actually him being zapped, okay, or being injected. Because some people feel like the rest of his life he's going to be behind bars with some of the most notoriously dangerous mother lovers in the same place. And you know what they do to people who are little diddlers. You know exactly what they do to diddlers behind bars. Okay? A lot of these guys don't make it out. Or they make it out, but they're not the same no more. Like I said, whole bunch of dudes going to be trying to turn his exit way into an entry. Trust me. Trust. He's going to know wrath behind bars, and it's not going to be by the will of Madeline Soto's family. Period. It's just going to be people who know who he is and what he's in jail for or prison for. That's it. So some people will sit there and go, that is justice. Yes, let it rain, right? But some are pissed because they wanted to see him get the full punishment. Okay? But, it just aggravates me that this dude still has the audacity to try to say something. But see, this is the level of crazy in some people's minds, that sociopathic mentality where they think that they can still move the room and make them, kind of jump onto their side if they just get 5 seconds to say their piece. Just give me 5 seconds to say my piece, and you will understand that I'm a good man. I may have done something bad, but I'm a good man. And she was such a joy. The hell does that mean, bro? I'm just saying, you better not be saying, man, I'd be screaming in that room. They would have to hold me in contempt. I'm sorry. They would. I'd be like, you better get my daughter's name out your mouth. I'm sorry. And I'd be screaming that. Guys. He's not allowed. He shouldn't have the privilege of saying my kid's name. That's just how I feel in my mind, right? But yet he still feels like he can change everyone's perspective of him if he gets a chance to just say his piece. He is not regretful. The only thing he regrets is getting caught. He doesn't care about anything else. It's disgusting. So yeah, she said it came off kind of like spicy in a way. It did. In fact, I might play it again just so we can relive it one more time. But let me get some of these super chats here really quick, okay? And I do want to see what Sunny has to say more as well, because as soon as she started talking, I'm like, yep, there it is. Orlando 6 is doing stuff. Okay, hold on. I might come back to that then. Orlando 6. Let's see. Looks like they are. I'll get to it. We got it right here. I'm going to pull this up here in a second. Let me get these super chats here really quick, though. I appreciate that. Good eye, everybody. Thank you so much for the help. I appreciate it. Infamous, thank you so much. Did you hear? Yep, I heard about Dog, the bounty hunter's stepson. I may pull that up here before the show's end. Or his grandson. I'm sorry. His grandson lost his life. Yeah. Please handle your firearms with care. Okay, guys? Please. That is so tragic. So tragic. Okay. And those kind of tragedies happen a lot more than you think. But moving on. Maymag, thank you so much. No contest means he gives up his right to have his date in court and waive the obligation of the state to prove he is guilty beyond a reasonable doubt. Yeah. I mean, he says no contest, which basically means he did that. Okay. He did that. Period. Tina, allegedly, everyone's talking about Malcolm Jamal Warner's death. Apparently he was on vacation. He drowned. It was an accidental drowning, apparently. I'm going to look into it when we get done here, though. Okay. First things first. We did talk about it when it broke, but I haven't heard anything new yet. But when I find out more, I'll let you guys know. Annie, thank you so much for the super chat. I really do, or super sticker. I really do appreciate it. Hippie, thank you so much. Sure, he misses her in a predator way. Absolutely. See, that's what I mean. I miss her. What do you mean by you miss her, you piece of trash? Pig vomit shouldn't be talking. Okay. Everything comes out like bile. It's just gross. It's nasty. All right. Rianne, thank you so much for the love. I appreciate it. By saying what he did just proves his depraved, sick ass mind to everyone. Exactly. Yep. He is waste as well. I agree. Okay. Karma will reach him. Like I said, there's going to be a whole lot of dudes trying to go through, trying to enter his exit hole. Okay. They're going to try to make his exit hole an entryway. Wait for it. Okay. And then he'll be walking around wearing Kool-Aid lipstick, holding the inside pocket of a man named Toby. Give it time. Okay. He going to be the town bicycle. Yeah. Real talk. Somebody go in there and going to make him their personal Cassie. Wait for it. Okay. Without the baby oil and Astroglide. Okay. Just spit in a women of prayer and a whole lot of gumption. Moving on, though. Let's see.
Thank you for coming back. We appreciate it. Yeah, of course. No, that's here, let me just speak this down. So obviously, Mr. Wallace and Tatiana going through and listening to everything that they had to listen to, it's obviously affecting them a great deal. So they're just going to need a little bit of time. But they do want to speak on behalf of Maddie at some point. They're just not in a great headspace right now to address that. But if you guys want to leave me your contact information, we can definitely circle back when they're in a little bit of a better headspace.
Can you tell us if they support this agreement, especially the no contest to the murder charge?
Yes, they're obviously with a trial coming out, and the sex crimes trial was going to be starting on Tuesday. That's a lot of videos. It's their little girl. And I think he recognizes that Stephan Sterns is going to die in prison. The death penalty is you die in prison. And he is not getting out ever. And I think that he understands that, and he understands the trade-off in terms of, okay, he's going to spend the rest of his life in prison. And my little girl does not have to essentially go through this, and the family go through all of this. And it also takes away all the appeals in terms of, with a death penalty case, the lack of closure that comes with a death penalty case, because the appeals are never ending, essentially. And so this is really, it's a step. Nothing changes the facts. Nothing ever will change the facts, but it's a step for them to get closure.
What do they make of Stern's statement in court, his apology?
An apology? I mean, I can't speak for them. I can tell you that I thought it was disgusting. I did not take that as an apology. I took that as he misses her. For whatever motive or reason.
Like that.
And I was disgusted by it. But again, I'm not speaking for them when I say that.
The no contest plea. A lot of people are saying, hey, he's not necessarily admitting guilt to the murder of Madeline. Does the family feel that others are involved, or if Sterns did this himself and no other people involved?
No, like I said, they're okay with this outcome. However you get Stephan Sterns life in prison without any hope of ever getting out. And I think in his final statements that he made to the court, where he's a former Marine, he understands what life in prison as a sex offender means, and I think he has come to a certain level of peace with that outcome. Everything else is really kind of ticky-tacky in terms of, all right, how does he get there? But the bottom line is he's getting there, and he's never getting out.
When did the family find out about the plea agreement?
It was last week.
Yeah, but did you see the mother in the courtroom today, or did I just miss her?
When you refer to the mother, do you refer to
mother-
Jennifer Soto?
Yes.
I did not see her in the courtroom.
Did you find that odd at any meetings?
Not for me to say.
It's weird. I'll say it.
Plea agreement, do they know it was something that's coming down the pipeline?
Yes, and I will say the state attorney's office has been wonderful in terms of the communication, in terms of getting their input, in terms of sitting down with them. William J. and Danielle Pinnell, they put their heart and souls into this case. They were there and available for any questions that anybody had. They didn't try to rush anything. They didn't try to force anything. This was very much conversations that took place in terms of what, and again, in a case like this, there's never going to be any like joy or happiness. There's not going to be a resolution where everybody is like, that's great. But it is a matter of, well, what can you live with? And what does it mean for the family? And what does it mean for Maddie, quite honestly, moving forward? Nobody wants to be in a position where, you know, no offense to you guys, we appreciate
Former
you very
Marine.
much, but the media exposure in a child sex case, where that's what's going to be written about for weeks on ends, if not months. And obviously, you know, if you have the ability to have closure without that having to happen, where essentially the same outcome, where he will in fact die in prison. And I think that is what the big picture was, and that was the goal. And I think that was achieved today.
There were a lot of law enforcement officers in the courtroom. Does the family have any thoughts on the case that law enforcement built, especially in those early days?
They're really appreciative. They actually were really overwhelmed with the support, and they really appreciate the fact that, you know, law enforcement, they're there when they're not in a position to help their daughter. Sometimes you have to rely on other people, and they're very appreciative of the work that law enforcement and the prosecution did in this case.
Deborah, speak if you can. Remember the years of being a state prosecutor. Does it make a difference, even though the out-cue was the same, that he pled no contest to some things, one guilty to others? Does it make a difference, even though the outcome's the same?
No. It's basically, it doesn't really have any legal significance. And so the fact that he went no contest and guilty, okay, and enjoy life in prison.
Yeah. Still gonna get it.
Well, that's a good question, and I don't even think they know the answer to that. I can't imagine how you move on from this, and I think, you know, Tyler said it best in terms of describing his emotions earlier today, where he's like, you know, this type of death is so unique that unfortunately with time, it's actually gotten worse for him mentally, because I think he has more time to think about it and to think about exactly what happened to his little girl. And so it's hard, and it's going to be hard, but they're gonna get through it.
Many of us know you quite well. For those out there that don't, do you mind just saying and spelling your name?
Sure. Yeah. I'm sorry. My name's Deborah Barra, Deborah.
I don't know her.
Last name Barra, B as in boy, ARRA.
No disrespect. I just don't know who she is.
I have one more question. Has Stephan Sterns' parents ever reach out to the family to offer apologies, any type of talk, communication whatsoever?
Not to my knowledge.
Yeah, because they're trash too, I guess. They've got to be. Make it make sense, guys, because that. I'm just moving up a little bit just to see, a little bit earlier. Just want to see what's going on here. Some of the family.
How's the family feeling?
Apparently, the cameraman has a thing for feet. I'm kidding. So there's that. You know, there was a little bit of an interview, so I'm glad that they had something, right? But obviously, it's never enough. Again, it is disgusting, in my personal opinion. It is absolutely disgusting that he had the last word. It aggravates me so much. It aggravates me so much. I don't know why. I mean, I think we all know why it aggravates me so much. And what's crazy to me is that the father, right? Because the father, for me, the father was the one that really kind of took me out a little bit. Like, don't get me wrong, the other ones were very emotional, but it's obviously it's going to hit different for me because I'm a dad too. You know what I'm saying? So the dad speaking and saying what he said, you know what I mean? That one hit. That one hit a little bit different. That one got real. Okay, that one got real, right, like right there. Like I had to turn away, and collect myself for a second because man. But what's I think is interesting is the father goes up and he says this stuff. I feel maybe I'm being crazy, okay? But you got somebody who is now hearing the father say something, and maybe that's why he felt obligated to say something before they left. Think about it for a second. The dad, I guess, has been, I don't know the full story about the father, the biological father of Madeline Soto, okay? But he even said himself, like, I was this close to having my kid. I was this close to having her for good. And of course, she's not here, right? That kind of hurt. That sucks, right? That's hard to hear, right? And then if you think about it, though, if you really think about it, the mom, or not the mom, obviously there was like some sort of estranged relationship of some sort between Madeline's mom, Jenny, and the father, right? And she's been with this piece of trash for several years. I don't know. And this could be me reaching. It's probably me reaching. But I am curious if he felt obligated or he felt compelled to say something because the father said something. And he's like, well, I got nice things to say about her too. The biological father ain't going to have the last word about this, about Maddie. You see what I'm saying? You know how it is. Okay. If you've ever dated anybody that has, an ex, baby daddy, baby mama, wife, or ex-wife or ex-husband, you know what I'm saying? There's always some sort of strange little competition riff between, you get what I'm saying? The ex and the new beau, you know what I mean? The ex and the new girlfriend, you know what I'm saying? There's always something weird. And I feel like that was kind of part of that too. But I'm telling you right now, no matter what, doesn't matter if I was estranged to my daughter or not, and I was I was in his situation, the biological father of Madeline Soto's situation, I'd be flying across that courtroom. Oh my God! As soon as he started saying anything, as soon as he started, he wouldn't even be able to finish her name. You see what I'm saying? You bet not say nothing. You feel me? You bet not say nothing. Little piece of just aggravates me so much, but we got to relive it again. So that's what we gonna do. Let's hear how disgusting this piece of schness is.
Thank you. Let's place Mr. Sterns under, he's been previously placed under oath.
Yes, Your Honor, I would like to make a brief statement. I agree that it's not fair that Madeline is not here anymore. I still have a hard time contemplating a world where she's not around, a world which feels less vibrant and less colorful than it did before.
Okay, I'm breaking this down because I literally will rip this monitor and throw it out the window. I'm not kidding. So I got to calm myself down. But here's the thing, though. All right. He is still talking as if he didn't do anything. Do you hear what he's saying? He is still speaking. Okay. He is still speaking as if he has done no wrong. Sure, he admits guilt of doing those unbelievable things to her, the content, etc., the disgusting thing. But you hear what I'm saying, right? He's still acting as if it's like she was taken from him unjustifiably. You hear that, right?
I've prayed to God countless times to trade places with her, to take me instead.
So you're saying what? Does that make any sense? You know for a fact he took her life. You know for a fact he's the one who did this. Because if she did, God forbid, if she did this to herself, you don't think that they would have said something by now? He's acting as if he walked into a room and he's like, oh no, just go no. You know what I mean? It's not even like that. He did this himself.
And unfortunately, that's just not how he works.
I'm repeating that. Let's hear that full phrase out of Pig Vomit's mouth one more time.
A world which feels less vibrant and less colorful than it did before. I've prayed to God countless times to trade places with her, to take me instead. And unfortunately, that's just not how he works.
I haven't touched this button, but I have to now because this is just diabolical. You know, in a way, I kind of wish we were seeing his face, but at the same time, I'm really glad that we're not seeing his face because he's not even worth the time. Okay? Because what he's saying, I can't even believe he's wasting air in that room uttering these words. And now he's trying to bring in God and say, oh, yeah, you know, it just wasn't part of God's plan. It wasn't part of God's plan to do, you know, for this situation. And if I could trade places with her, I would have done it 1,000 times before. What? What are you talking? You know for a fact that's a full-on lie. You're the one who took her out. So what the hell are you talking about?
I have nothing but sorrow for her loss. And I miss her all the time. Her passing has torn me and my family apart as well.
No one cares.
And she truly was a joy.
That part, when he starts saying that she's got colors, okay? She got colors and she's a bright light. And now he's sitting there saying like, oh yeah, you know, she brings so much joy. What are you talking about, man? Come on, y'all. No one cares that her passing tore your family apart. What about the family that's in the room that just did all those statements to make sure you are locked up for life, right? No one cares, man. No one cares about your fee-fees and your parents' fee-fees. No one gives a damn.
I pray to God that she is in heaven and that he's taking good care of her.
Oh, she's in heaven. That's someplace you'll never go. Okay? You're going to be chilling in a hot tub in hell with Hitler and all the other monstrosities that are down there. Wait for it because, oh, I'm sorry. You're going to be there very soon. Yeah, I said it. It's just, that clairvoyance is starting to trigger in my brain right now. And yeah, he ain't going to be here for very long, guys. Yeah, I said it.
And I hope she gets to join the choir because she had a beautiful voice. I will miss her all the time. I will never not honor her memory. And I apologize for all the pain.
So you're gonna what? You're gonna honor her memory? What do you honor her memory? How, bro? Seriously, like I just don't understand why somebody like this can sit here and have the last word. Like even if I was the judge, I'd be like, I'm sorry. Is there anyone else that wants to speak before we end? That's just me though. Okay. I don't know how it works in the courtroom or anything of that sort, but I'd be like, is anyone else in this room that wants to have the final say? Because we're not finishing off with that. We're not ending court with that. I'd literally say that. I don't care if it's not cool. I don't care if it's not normal to do something like that, but I would. I'd be like, wait a second. Anyone else want to say anything? In fact, how about the dad come back up here and read that one more time for me? Okay? I'm not letting this dude have the final say. Do you know how disrespectful that is to Maddie? To me, it is hella disrespectful. And lo and behold, he gets the final say. And this is how we're going to see, this is how people are going to remember this trial in this particular case, his final statement. And what the F do you mean that you're going to be out here celebrating her life, celebrating her name? It's gross, y'all. Clearly he was in love. And that's gross. That's really, really gross. But I've never seen anything like that before. I've never seen anything like that before. I never have. I mean, we've seen other people get, be able to make a statement, but then, the judge is usually like finishing it out. Yeah, fine, you get the final say, but they don't end it like that. Hold on, just so you know, I'm gonna scrub through. I want you to see this. It's done after this. Look, that's how they end it, yo. They end it just like that, baby. It's it. I'd be like, no, I'm not letting you have the last word, son. I'm gonna say what I need to say. You see what I'm saying? That is so jacked up. That is so jacked up, yo. That is so jacked up. No. Okay? Good golly, Miss Molly. Now, yes, spaghetti. Okay? It's absolutely unreal. Like like I said, I would be, I'd be pissed. Okay? And like I said, you just see suddenly a gigantic object just flying across the room. What was that? And I'm on top of him. Okay? And I'd be like, is this what you did to Maddie? Seriously. Yeah. And I don't give a damn. But that was a real thing that just happened. Like I said, I just feel like that's so disrespectful. Okay? So disrespectful to Maddie. And that's the stuff that really it makes me so mad. Gets me so choked up, and it enrages me. Because if I was there, if I was the parent, oh my dear Lord. My dear Lord. That man would know exactly who the hell I am. He would know me in ways I'd be going medieval, straight up biblical, all on his ass. Do you understand that? Okay? Yeah, you know what I mean, Nicole B? Like that's the moment where it's like, do you have anything you want to, like, let's hear from the families, They definitely have something to say. They got to have something to say. If they don't have anything to say, this is wild. But I mean, the ones that went up and did their statement, they clearly had something to say, but I'm hoping that people, they get on platforms and say what they need to say, because this man does not deserve to have the final say on this whole freaking thing. He does not. So somebody has to speak up. Somebody does. I can't let that be what it is. I can't let that sit like that. That is not sitting and resting on my heart right either. And I'm not a family member. Okay? I'm just somebody who wants justice, just like anybody else. Now, here's the thing. Justice has been served. Yes, he's going to jail. He's going to prison. He's going to be there for the rest of his life. He will perish behind bars. Okay. And like I said, he ain't going to be alive for very long. If he is, then congratulations. But he's going to have a very, very sad life. Now, I know some people will be really pissed off at that idea, that they just want him gone. They want his idea, the idea and the essence, the disgusting, deplorable essence of pig vomit is they just want it gone. They want it to be eviscerated, or as our president would say, completely obliterated. And here's it is. I don't blame them. I feel that anger and I feel that vibe because of what we have learned throughout the last year and a half of what this guy did. Okay. Not what he allegedly did, what he did. Because now he has fully said, yep, I did that. Yep, I did all of that too. Remember, 60 different counts. Do you know how disgusting that is? 60. Not 16, which is even disgusting still. 60 counts. Remember what we talked about before. Follow the bouncing ball. Terabytes of content where Madeline was the star. Here's another piece of information I just want to remind you on too. They were able to ID Stephan Sterns because he has a specific, I guess for lack of a better term, he has like a birthmark, like you can't miss it, right on his special place. And it was Maddie and his birthmark in this content. That's how they were able to ID him. So he couldn't sit there and go, it's not me. It wasn't me. I don't know whose content that is. This is wild. Nope. They're just like, can you drop your pants, please, sir? And lo and behold, they were able to do that. No lie. That's how they were able to do that. And they did quick reverse math. Okay. Yeah. Yeah. He had like a burn mark on his hot dog. Literally. Yep. Okay. You can't deny it. You can't miss it. And that was in the content too, guys. Do you understand how disgusting this man really is? And why he should not have had the last word? That's why I get angry about it. Because of all the information and the content and all the stuff that he did, and the fact that he was still leading up to even to this, saying no contest, trying to make it seem like he just walked in on her gone. You see what I'm saying? Is ridiculous to me. Absolutely ridiculous to me. Like I said, this is the kind of stuff that puts hate in your heart. This is the kind of stuff that just puts hate in your heart, man. Tipsy, thank you so much for the love. I appreciate it. Rest in peace, sweet Maddie. Yes, may she rest in peace for sure. Rianne, thank you so much for gifting one membership. Welcome to the family, you new member. All I ask for you to do is to pay it forward, okay? Rianne just gave you some positivity. All I ask for you to do is pay that positivity forward, okay? Please and thank you. All right. Debbie, thank you so much. I appreciate it. R.I.P. Maddie, thank you, Pascal. Of course. No, thank you, guys. I couldn't watch this by myself. So I appreciate you guys watching it with me. Real talk. So thank you. Nurse for God, thank you so much for being a member for the past 5 months. I appreciate the support. My dad would unalienable. My dad would unalienable. I've never heard that. I think you mean unalive. That's what unalienable. That's such a weird word to say out loud. Try saying everyone's going to try right now. Dude. Try saying unalienable. Just real quick. Just try saying that word by yourself. Some of y'all like still sipping your coffee going, unalienable. It's easy. What are you talking about, Pascal? That's easy. But I think you said my dad would unalive SS if I was the victim. Oh, yeah. Trust me. I understand you completely, Pascal. Thank you so much, Nurse for God. Unalienable. That's something I feel like Trump would try to have for ICE. We need to get those those migrants and those unalienable people or something like that. I don't know. But yes, unalive. Okay. Like I said, man, if that, I would do my own version of justice. Like I said, he would know exactly who I am real fast. Okay. Give me a room with no windows. Just give me one dark room with no windows. Okay. He would know exactly who the hell I am. Carbonized, thank you so much for the super chat. I appreciate it. Yep, pig vomit indeed. Pig vomit indeed. Okay. It's a bigly word. It's a bigly word indeed. Unalienable. Yes. Yes. Okay. Yes, I would unalienable him too. Okay. I'm with you 100%. Trust and believe. Okay. But here's the thing, real quick. I'm trying to see if there's any update on this right here, on Malcolm Jamal Warner. So I just refreshed this to see if there's anything else. So apparently they say as of 10:53 a.m. this morning Pacific time, they're saying that Warner passed away of asphyxia after he was caught in a high current in the ocean. So he was in the ocean swimming. Yeah, they took Theo, y'all. The ocean took Theo, y'all. Theo Huxtable no more, man. This is sad. So according to ABC News, which I'm going to click on that and see. So he drowned into Costa Rica. So Malcolm Jamal Warner, the actor best known for starring in the hit TV show The Cosby Show as Theo Huxtable, has passed away. So he drowned off the coast of Costa Rica on Sunday. All right. And this is what the Costa Rican National Police told ABC News. Warner's official cause of demise was asphyxia. So he died near Cockles, a beach in Limon, Costa Rica, according to the police. So police said that he was caught by a high current in the water and was discovered Sunday afternoon. That's terrible. Just going out there, just enjoying a quick swim, I'm sure. Okay, Warner was formally identified by Costa Rica's National Police. So we already know he played Theo Huxtable for all eight seasons of The Cosby Show, okay, which ran from 1985 to 1992, receiving an Emmy nomination for his role. He starred with Eddie Griffin in the 1996 to 2000 sitcom Malcolm and Eddie, and as Dr. Alex Reed in the BET sitcom Read Between the Lines. So he also appeared in guest roles on dozens of television shows over the years. Didn't he also have like a deaf poetry jam or something like that? Didn't he do something like that? Didn't he host like a slam poetry show that was on TV for like a season or two? Okay. If I remember correctly, I could have sworn he had like some sort of slam poetry show that he had as well, because he loved poetry. He loved slam poetry. So, again, like this is sad, extremely, extremely sad. And of course, may he rest in peace. It's terrible. But here's the other thing too. I have a feeling there's going to be a lot of people that are going to think that something sinister happened here, but maybe something sinister did. Maybe nothing happened. I don't know. But this is still an absolute tragedy. And may he rest in peace. It's a crappy show today. A lot of sadness. A lot of sad things. You got Malcolm Jamal Warner. You have the Madeline Soto case coming to an end now. I mean, he's locked up for good, guys. He's locked up. He gone. But then you got Dog the Bounty Hunter. Let's get that too. Let me grab that here real quick. which is also sad too. And I do want to share this one with y'all as well. This is crazy that this is even real. Okay. But this is why, and if all the information is true about this and how Dog the Bounty Hunter's grandson passed away, or like it's like his step grandson, if I'm correct. But the fact that this also happened, and if this is true about like a weapon going off and all that, and it was just, of course, like a freak accident type situation because a possible a weapon was being mishandled. Okay. That is very, very sad. Okay. And this is why I keep saying, everybody, I get it. We all want to be able to have those things for protection or for recreational use, like when you're going out hunting or you're doing target practice and stuff like that. The last thing you want to have happen is this happening to your kid, okay, or your loved one because of some terrible accident happening like this. Okay, this is terrible. All right. So it says the boy's father is the stepson of Dwayne Chapman, okay, who is also Dog the Bounty Hunter. All right. So the 13-year-old step grandson of Dwayne. So Dwayne, Dog the Bounty Hunter Chapman, was fatally shot in an accident by the reality show's star's stepson, according to multiple media outlets. TMZ was the first to report of the death of Anthony Zecca. The boy's father, Gregory Zecca, is the stepson of Dwayne Chapman, which we already know is Dog the Bounty Hunter. So the teenager lost his life in an accidental pew-pew situation at an apartment in Naples, Florida on Saturday, TMZ reported. The celebrity-focused outlet cited people close to the situation saying that Gregory Zecca accidentally pulled the trigger on his son in a freak accident. So in a statement to TMZ, Dog the Bounty Hunter and his wife, Francie, or maybe Frankie? I don't know. But anyway, Francie asked for privacy as the family deals with this particular tragedy. We're grieving as a family over the incomprehensible tragic accident and would ask for continued prayers as we grieve the loss of our beloved grandson, Anthony. So People Magazine confirmed the demise, saying that Collier County Sheriff's Office responded to a call around 8 p.m. on July 19th. The sheriff's office called the death an isolated incident and have not made any arrests at all as of Monday afternoon. So in a statement released to People, the sheriff's office said that they are conducting a thorough investigation looking into all elements of this particular incident. Of course, Gregory, the son of Francie or Frankie, maybe, is a son from a previous marriage. Then she married Dog the Bounty Hunter in 2021 after they were both widowed. Okay. So we already know about all that, about how Dog the Bounty Hunter became Dog the Bounty Hunter. Okay. But again, this is a very sad situation. I'm wondering how it turned into a freak accident, right? And the fact that no one was arrested. And again, the father, who actually is the one who pulled the trigger, or, allegedly was holding the weapon when it went off. Okay. He could literally he can get involuntary manslaughter charges. He could get that. So he could very well go and get arrested, right? Because again, it wasn't like the weapon was sitting on a coffee table and it just went off. The father was holding the weapon and the weapon went off and took the life of his son. Okay? That's some serious stuff. So this isn't over. And it's obviously a massive tragedy, but this isn't over for Dog the Bounty Hunter's stepson. Okay? So we're going to see what happens with this. But again, this is why I keep urging everybody, put them away. Okay? Lock them away. Make sure they're not in reach of anyone, right? But I do also know that there's a lot of people that will just have them sitting around. They just lay them around like they're freaking paperweights. And if you don't know how to handle weapons properly, don't touch them. Now, I'm not sitting here saying that the stepson, who is the one who also lost his own son, I'm not sitting here saying that he doesn't know how to handle weapons. But at the same time, if you're not handling them with care, a lot of bad things can happen. Doesn't matter if you're a gun enthusiast. It doesn't matter. Okay? So it still needs to be answered. This one question is, how did this happen? What actually caused this to happen? Was it in his hand and it just accidentally went off? Or was it a situation where he thought somebody was trying to break into the house? Like, was it something of that sort? Right? I think that needs to be clarified. And I think a lot of people are wanting to know that answer. And rightfully so. I don't blame anyone wanting to know that answer. But nonetheless, imagine being a parent and being the cause of your own child losing their life. It's terrible. It's terrible. And my thoughts and prayers go out to this family, because it happens a lot more than you think, y'all. It happens a lot more than you think. But guys, I'm going to have to wrap the show here. I know that there's some other things that we got to talk about. Trump said some things saying that he is on the list, allegedly, which I need to look into. And we're going to be talking about that a little bit later on this afternoon. There's a lot going on. So I'm going to be talking to you guys about that here very, very soon. Like I said, that's something that's been circulating throughout the internet. I'm trying to make sure and see if that's actually true before I just hop on here and go, yeah, he admits he's on the Epstein list. You know what I mean? I want to make sure it's absolutely 110% true. Okay. And if he did say it, well, then shoot. He is saying something that we already knew. Okay. But it would be shocking, and then also very messy, especially with everything that's been going on with the Epstein list debacle. This would make the situation even more messy. They just need to make their minds up and just put the stuff out here and be done with it. Okay? Because it's like, is there more lying? Let's stop with the lying. Let's just get straight to the point here. Expose the list so we can move on, right? And stop trying to point other things out like, arrest Obama. Yeah, we need to arrest Obama. Okay, fine. If we do, then we'll get to it. But let's talk about this Epstein list, though, too. Okay? Quit trying to throw other things out here, trying to throw everybody off, because that's exactly what they're doing right now. Anyway, guys, that is the show. I appreciate you guys. It really does mean a lot. I will try to be on here a little bit later on, okay? To talk about that. Like I said, I just want to do a little bit of research to make sure that's absolutely 110% true. And then we'll be back on to talk about those things for sure, okay? So please do me a favor. Before you head out, hit that like button down below. Hit that reaction button if you're watching on other platforms. If you are watching on those other platforms, make sure you're hitting that follow button, that like button, whatever they tell you to do for the actual page, okay? Of course, do not forget to hit that subscribe button. Please and thank you. Subscribe. Don't forget, here on this channel, go to my other two channels, the Pascal Show clips, which there'll be clips coming from this show on that channel very, very soon. And then, of course, don't forget to check out Pascal Raw, okay? There will be a new one later on this evening, okay? A new episode, which I may do more episodes over there than just once a week. We'll see, okay? But make sure you hit the notification bells on all platforms so you know whenever I go live, okay? Or whenever I upload, all right? But it's time to get going. I'll be talking to you guys very soon. Stay blessed out there. We got justice, guys. It may not be the justice that we wanted, but it is justice nonetheless. And now, let him fend for himself in prison. Bye, pig vomit. Wouldn't want to be ya. Anyway, talk to you guys soon. Be good to yourselves. Be good to one another. This is the Pascal Show. Bye.